You're going back.
Doing the back.
You're going back.
Thank you. I can take a hint real easily.
From your wife.
Oh,
I don't know what she goes, can you get this to market? I said, sure, okay. I don't know, is he going to cry?
where is she? It's good to see you all. It's good to hear you all. Thanks so much for coming today. Special welcome to the Spring Assembly, a kickoff for the spring semester, and hearty hello to all the folks that are watching us virtually and then later on YouTube. So I really appreciate you being here today. We got some things to cover. I hope it's not going to take. Linda is down here with the 10-minute warning, giving me to cut it off. I don't want to take up all your time, but we got some important things to talk about today. I apologize ahead of time that we don't have an interpreter up here, but we do have the closed captioning that's going on. We just tried to schedule it, couldn't get it done, so we apologize for that. Before we get started, just on a personal note, I just want to extend a very deep-seated thank you to the campus community for all your comments, thoughts, prayers for my wife and I. They're probably aware of what happened. We had a little accident in the family, and I can't tell you how much we appreciate it. We felt all those prayers, and I think Libby is here today. Lib, are you here somewhere? Don't be shy. Where are you at? I don't even see her. Oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, boy. If anyone has an extra cot I can stay in tonight at your place, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for coming. So let's get started. We're a little bit late. I hate being late. Let's get going. And you know the routine. We have a couple of announcements we have to make before we get into the meat of the presentation. And the first one is no more cocoa and cocktails. It's off to a greatest start of any assembly we've had so far. But we decided, because of COVID and the way this event has naturally evolved, that we're actually going to hold an event where we change the name, Cocoa and Cocktails, to the Lucky Draw. And that's the event that follows up right after here, right after this event, 11:30 or so, in the club. And it's simply, again, what we're preserving is come pick up a food voucher, come put your money on a special prize, come and get a gift from the university to you for all a small token, understood, but a token of appreciation for everything you've done at the university. So that happens right after this event in the club, and winners, when you do receive notification that you've won, you can pick those up no later than January 20th here. So it'll still be fun. I don't know, Rhonda, I'm not sure what we're doing in the spring and in the fall. It may be more of a picnic with the same kind of gig going on here. So please don't take advantage of that if you can. For the first time, inaugural, we are in a position to create an award at the university, 2023 Inclusive Excellence Champion Awards. These are awarded to people that demonstrated outstanding service in the area of diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. And it was run out of the VP for Inclusion office. It was a committee that was co-chaired by Amada Almanza and Coy Martin. I really appreciate your work there. And we actually have 4 people that we have to acknowledge, recognize today that are now recipients of those awards. And the first one, well, I just said that. The first one is actually a student award, and that is Sean Christoph King, computer science major on the football team, and just demonstrated a par none excellence track record in DIA activities. And we actually have Sean here today. Sean, could you stand and could you please recognize Sean? I may need you next time we do this lucky draw thing, do we get the applause there? Okay. The second person, and this is really impressive too, is Dr. Ashaka Kumari, who is an assistant professor in our English department. She is the faculty award recipient of this particular award. Is Dr. Ashaka here? Oh, please stand. Please recognize her. Good job. Thirdly, is an alumnus award. And that is to Juan Vasquez, who is an alumnus of ours, who received his MS in Organization Leadership, Learning and Technology a couple years ago. And Juan is here with us today. Juan, could you please stand as an alum of ours? Congratulations. And then last but not least, the staff award goes to Chief Brian Vaughn of UPD. Chief, that was pretty quick. Can you stand up again and you stand up. Okay. And what sort of spurred this, the impetus of these awards, we kind of leveraged the fact that the system is giving out a chancellor's medallion for diversity, equity, and inclusion. And of the 4 names, the university will be forwarding Chief Vaughn's name as the recipient from A&M Commerce. As a representative from A&M Commerce. So great job. Great job to all 4 of you. Thank you so much. Also, this time of year, we get to announce the President's Meritorious Service Awards. And this comes with a little bit of cash besides the recognition. And our first category is individual awards. So these were people that were nominated throughout the campus, and the first recipient of that award is Sandy Barnes. Yeah. See, I knew Sandy was going to get a great round of applause, so congratulations, Sandy. The second person is Ricky Porter from Shipping and Receiving. Absolutely. 2 great. All 4 are great. 2 great so far. Thirdly, Kaylee Kennard from Office of Sponsored Programs. And finally, Julie Russell from the Department of Chemistry. Good job, Julie. So these folks, individual awards, will receive $1,000, and it'll be deposited in their check this Friday, in their account this Friday, in their bank account this Friday. Okay. The Contract Vendor Award, 1 award given, another $1,000 award that's given to one of our contractors at the university, and that goes to Terry Gowen, Project Manager, SCC. Good job, Terry. Good job. And then finally, the President's Meritorious Service Team Award. And the competition was pretty keen here, is my understanding, talking to the super secret committee that was evaluating these. And these folks, as a team, will get a plaque, they'll get recognition, they'll get individually $200 that'll also be deposited in their bank account. And that award goes to the Office of Student Engagement. Congratulations. Congratulations to everyone. Everyone who applied or was nominated, I guess I should say, is a winner in this. And I hope there's ample opportunity in the future to recognize your efforts. Even if you didn't quite make it this year, please, let's nominate good people for these awards, because we need to recognize the great work that our staff are doing on our campus. Okay, new faces, new positions. Ready? Here we go. Okay, welcome new faculty. I think this is a listing of folks that came here since, I think, September, sometime in the fall. So we have a lot of searches going on now. I imagine this list is going to be quite voluminous in the fall. But here you go. Welcome to all the new faculty that we have on campus. Looks like the Waters Library was pretty active there. Welcome to new staff. See a lot of faces that are new to this university, and we welcome you with open arms as part of the Lion family, and more staff, okay? So really excited about having you here, and again, being part of the Lion family. We think you chose the right place, and we chose the right people here. Individually, let's run down a little bit through leadership. Adriel Terrazas still continues to be our student body president. Is Adriel here today? I don't know if Adriel's here today. I don't think so. But I'll tell you what, this is Adriel's second year. We can't be happier, couldn't be happier that he stayed in the position of the president. SGA, if you've never been to a meeting, you need to go to a meeting. Just to observe. They are diligent, they are purposeful, they are intentional, and they're inquisitive. And when I've asked a lot of people, deans and VPs and faculty to go here, and when they go, they get grilled. It's like Face the Nation or something on TV. But they're very, very good questions. And I think they do such a great job representing the views and are great advocates for our students. And Adriel plays such a big role in that. Secondly, Brent Donham, new VP for Research and Economic Development. This is kind of a no-brainer. Taking Brent's background, given his research background, given his industry connections, given his agency connections, and Chamber of Commerce's background, he was uniquely situated and qualified for this position. He's going to do a great job as we talk a little bit more about research in the presentation here, as our quest for R2 and prominence in the research area. Brent puts us in that driver's seat. Andrea Graham, new interim dean of the College of Science and Engineering. Also couldn't be happier about this hire. I've already had 2 or 3 meetings with Andrea about initiatives that I hope we can work together along with the provost in the College of Science and Engineering. Just a very forward thinker, and Andrea, congratulations so much on your new assignment. Scott Wheeler. Scott Wheeler is been named the interim dean of the College of Business. Scott comes to us squarely from the business background, the business community in DFW, and I really do think Scott is uniquely positioned to help us move that college forward, at least, although it be on an interim basis. So Scott, will you stand up? I don't think folks know you. Can you welcome Scott to the ranks of the university? Thanks, Scott. It's good to see you. Also, we may have heard through the grapevine that we've hired a new football coach at the university, Clint Dozell, who came to us from Arena Football. But he was a quarterback of ours, a prominent quarterback of ours during the 1990s. Is that right? 90s, I think. Yep. And I knew when we interviewed Clint or talked to Clint. Is Clint here today? I don't think Clint is here. Okay. I know it's heavy recruiting season right now. It was obvious that Clint checked all the boxes we wanted in a new head football coach. You know, he said something to me, he said something to the group that stuck with me. He said many things, but this stuck with me because I asked him a question, what are your thoughts on academics and school for your players? And he said, if you miss class, it's like missing practice. And there'll be ramifications of that. Of course, inside I was like, yes, that's a great answer, right? Because if you met him, you know he says what he means, and he means what he says. So again, a great addition to our university, and not only to the football and athletics program, but to the university. Alex Jimenez is a new person that we put under contract to help us expand our brand, our reach into the Fort Worth area. We claim we're doing DFW work. We're recruiting in DFW. We have connections and partnerships in DFW. Well, Fort Worth is part of DFW. Alex is a prominent businessman, but also has great connections with Fort Worth ISD and the community college out there and a lot of the higher ed entities out there. And again, much like we're trying to do in Dallas, Alex has the skills and the connections to open up a lot of doors for us in Fort Worth. So the full court press continues from Commerce to Rockwall to Dallas to Fort Worth. We have a new Title IX coordinator, Amanda Berry from University of Tampa. I've met Amanda, but when I talked to the folks that interviewed the search committee, they said Amanda knocked it out of the park. Amanda knows what she's doing. Another great addition. Is Amanda here today? I don't know if she's here today. Amanda, here you go. Can you say hi to Amanda? Welcome. Welcome to the university. I hope we never have to use you ever again at our university, but we know you're there if you're available. And then you know that we have, the system provides us government relations support, and they assign us government relations liaisons. And Stanton Culvert, a veteran of probably 30 years in the Texas legislature, has been assigned to A&M Commerce. And the first couple meetings, off to a great start. He will help us advance our legislative agenda, which will, that starts actually today. Legislation opens for business today, January 10th, and he'll be an active role. And he's coming out to campus. What date is he coming out to campus? We have no idea. But he is coming out to campus, and I hope there's opportunities for you to meet Stanton, an important cog in the whole scheme of things. And then our university leadership. Dr. Yasmina Tink will continue the second year of her president of the Faculty Senate. We have a great working relationship with Yasmin. I get to meet with Yasmin, I don't know, at least once a month, just to catch up on things. And I know that the provost is meeting continually with Yasmin and attending Faculty Senate meetings. So a great partner, a great faculty advocate, and we continue a second year of good things coming out of Faculty Senate. Jeff Herndon, continues to be chair of the Academic Department Head Council. This was, I felt like, when I first got here, I was a department chair for 10 years. And I was like, why are we not paying more attention and meeting with department chair council and understanding what the trials and tribulations are, because the department chairs have that unique position between faculty and administration, and it's not fun sometimes, okay? I can speak to that. So we are making a concerted effort to get with Jeff, to meet with Jeff, and to meet with the department chair council, because I believe department chairs play such a vital role in the academics of our university. So Jeff, thank you again for your service and continued service to the university. Amanda Brown, President of Staff Council. Is Amanda here? Where's Amanda? Amanda, hey, there's Amanda. Amanda is serving, and I think Coy is her vice chair, but again, the staff plays such an incredibly important role, backbone of this university. And I really enjoy my time meeting with Amanda and Coy because we have a lot of dialogue, and I think we're moving the ball forward, maybe not as quickly as Amanda would like, but we continue to move the ball forward. And while we're on Amanda, I want to give a special shout out to the Staff Council. Staff Council has been working very hard at advancing advocacy and support and what shared governance may mean in a Staff Council model in terms of AWL, alternate work location, and other initiatives, and just the good things they do in terms of giving out scholarships to folks that may be taking classes at the university. So a shout out to staff. Can you help me acknowledge Staff Council and give them a kudo? And then finally, last but not least, Belinda, for budget users groups. This is another group that I think has been in existence and really performs an important service for the university in terms of budgeting at department levels and director levels and so forth. But I've increasingly tapped into that group and wanted to meet with that group because I've learned from my experience in higher ed, if you want to know what's going on at the university, talk to these people. Okay? They know what's what at the university. And so, Belinda, thank you so much for your service, and the entire population or the entire group of people that are part of BUG, thank you for your service to the university. Yes. Okay, real quick. So the legislative session starts today. And on this slide is essentially our legislative agenda. So we'll be going down to Austin, meeting with legislators, people in our district, people outside of our district, and advocating for these particular items. And the first one is more formula funding. Okay, we have experienced inflation in our nation, and not to increase formula funding is really acknowledging that we're not going to address inflationary costs to the university and to our students. So we're hitting this hard, and every school, every system, that's the number one on their list. So very important. Performance-based budget. There was last legislative session, a number of systems got together and said there is not enough money given to the regional universities for student success. That could be mentoring, advising, whatever that may be. And so they created this bill called the Comprehensive Regional University Bill, and they call it CRU for short. And they are looking at doubling that amount, and therefore doubling for this legislative session, and doubling that amount that the A&M Commerce would receive. Again, very important to what we're trying to do in terms of advising, centralizing advising, and really trying to create this wraparound service support system for our students. This is going to be a funding mechanism to do that. Health benefits are up. The cost is up. You don't realize that, but the university realizes that. And the university is eating that right now, figuring out strategies to cover that cost so you don't have to cover that cost of a 20% increase. But we're not going to be afraid to go to the legislature and ask them for help and support, along with a lot of different schools and systems to do that. And then there are two items that are outside of the general revenue, but special item requests is we think we have an answer, maybe the best answer right now for addressing the teacher shortage within the state of Texas, and that's our Pride Pathway as part of our competency-based education program, and asking for a nice bit of money to develop the infrastructure and roll that out. So far, we've been kind of piloting this program in different school districts. It's been wildly successful. We've been holding back a little bit because we don't want to overload ourselves without the necessary people and resources in place, and this will help. And then finally, addressing the teacher shortage is our last item request, so we can introduce a third cohort of nursing students in our nursing program to help, in part, to alleviate the crushing need for nurses, particularly in the rural areas of the state in Northeast Texas. So a pretty robust agenda, but I think we're ready for it. And again, Stanton will help us sell this. You cannot see that, okay? I can tell you can't see it. But this is, I always have to give you the latest numbers of enrollment, because it does dictate, our formula funding and our revenue and so forth. And this is a table that Nichelle Bonds gave me yesterday that is dated January 9th. So still 8 days before the first class day. And our total enrollment is up by about 2% head count. That's good. Our SCH is our student credit hour over last year, over spring of 22. And then our SCH is the student head count is actually up about almost 6%. That's good news in terms of our student head count for formula funding. So we'll continue to monitor this. We know that so many students wait until the very last second to enroll and sign up for classes at our university. And so we're optimistic about this, but keep your fingers crossed. We'll continue to monitor this as we always do. Okay? Okay, so let's get to work now. It's always a good idea to reevaluate who you are, what you're doing, is it the right thing to do, and set the course, continue to set the course for the university. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about things we have done, things we are doing, things we plan to do, and why we're doing those things to advance the university. Okay? And it all starts with our university-wide strategic plan. Okay? The vision, the goals, the mission, all those things are what we follow, is our roadmap. And as I've put this presentation together, but I also am able to talk about our plan to people on the outside, I stick to this plan. This is my roadmap when I go out and talk to folks and when we have new initiatives coming down the pike. So, you know that our vision, and we've always had these 4 pillars of our vision: to transform lives, service, serve an inclusive community, advance knowledge, foster collaboration. Okay, all good stuff. But at the end of the day, this is what we do. And we had a little discussion about this in the fall assembly, that our strength and our commitment and our DNA is that we see ourselves as an institution that gives every kid a shot that deserves it, that's qualified, to transform their lives. And we transform their lives in so many different ways. That could be in the classroom. That could be walking across the stage of graduation. That could be on the athletic playing field. That could be across the board, internship, whatever that may be. We try to create experiences to transform lives. Okay? And so when you, and I pulled a Michael Johnson here, and I pulled up a definition of transformative: causing or able to cause an important and lasting change in someone or something. Okay? An important change and lasting. This is important stuff we're doing, that's obvious, but lasting. I'm hoping, my expectation is the things we're working on now isn't, hurry up, Mark, before Mark leaves, then we'll go back to the way things were. We're trying to institutionalize this transformative nature of our university and bake it into our DNA as an institution. So everything we're doing is part of us moving forward as an institution long after you're gone, long after I'm gone, okay? So I thought it'd be a worthwhile exercise to walk through these various goals through student preparedness and academics and operations and so forth, and give a couple examples, very brief, a couple examples of what we're doing, what we have been doing, and where we're going to go in some of these areas, and then tie it in to transformation, okay? So the first thing, transforming people. I know that we're talking about transforming lives, and we always seem to focus on the students, and that's a good thing, okay? Because that's why we're here. That's what gets us up in the morning. That's why we took the jobs. That's why we wanted to be teachers, educators, okay, and researchers. And so we have a number of things going on in this area and have focused a lot in this area. The whole idea of student preparedness. We could have went with student success, but if there's 400 people in this room and we said, what is student success? We'd have 400 different answers. I can't get my arms wrapped around that. But if you tell me about student preparedness, what are we doing to prepare a student when they graduate, they are ready to take their place in the workforce or go to secondary professional school or whatever that may be? Are we arming them with appropriate skills to do that? Okay? And we constantly have dialogue going on with employers and industry saying, what do you want, what skills do you want in our graduates? We're going to produce the best accountant, we're going to produce the best biologist, but what other skills do they need to be successful in your workplace? It could be working in groups, it could be oral communication, it could be written communication, analytical skills. Tell us what it is so we can take that information back and incorporate that into our classes, into our curriculum. And we have some academic programs at the university that have accrediting bodies that ask and require you to do just that. We have others that maybe don't to that degree, okay? We are going to take this campus-wide approach at doing this. And we are right now putting together finishing touches, or I forget where exactly we are, but the whole quality enhancement plan for the university. In the past, it was a global, preparing students for a global environment. Don't be surprised if our next QEP is along this whole career student preparedness area. And we, again, institutionalize this as part of our institution. This early approach to career readiness, if you're a student and you're running across to the Career Center when you're a second semester senior, we blew it, okay? We're going to figure out strategies that day one when you walk in the door as a freshman here, we're talking career, okay? We're talking career with you, where you go, and so forth. We just had a meeting yesterday when Vice President Sackfield was talking about her shop looking at developing a student preparedness roadmap, okay, which would include things all academic, career, whatever that may be. That's what the students want. That's what mom and dad and aunts and uncles and other caretakers want. Is my kid going to get a job when I leave here, when they leave here, okay? Or be successful, because there's also professional school and so forth. So we have these approaches to early career that we have already started, and we're actually going to ramp up. I'll tell you another area that we're really interested in, and I attributed this to our provost's office, our early intervention strategies. And in the past, when we've had students, let's take English 1301, and they're halfway through the class, and they're not either not showing up for class, not performing, getting an F. So many times we just lose those kids. They just say, you know what, college is not for me. I'm done. Okay? I can't hack this. I got stuff. I got to make money at home and so forth. Okay? But now we have a strategy in place where we tell that kid, where are you going? Okay? We're going to drop you out of that class, and we're going to enroll you, as an example, into perhaps a winter mini. To say, we'll forgive those first 8 weeks, but we're going to put you in an intensive class to get you a passing grade in the 1301 class. So a very intrusive, a very invasive, but a very important step at our university to insert ourselves in the students' not kind of lives, but certainly their academic lives at the university. And then mental health and sense of belonging. When you poll our students, the sense of belonging comes up number one. I need to feel like I belong on campus. I need to feel like I belong in a classroom with the instructor. And they create that sense of belonging in the classroom. I need to feel like I belong when I'm at the counter buying my parking pass. I need to feel like I belong when I'm working with financial aid and they're helping me resolve my financial aid issue, or with the advisor, or whoever that may be. They want the sense of belonging. And part of that is the whole mental health issue. I think we have made great strides in mental health support for our students. And Nick Patras and his shop are doing an outstanding job. Incredibly overwhelmed, but doing an incredible job at our university. But there's more to it than meeting with a counselor. What is our individual roles to create this sense of belonging at the university? Why do we do this? Because that's what we're here for. Why do we do all this? Because our job here is to transform the lives of young people and make them successful as they move on. And this is a strategy we employ here. But I want to also talk about transforming the lives of our faculty and our staff. Right? It isn't always about the students. What are we doing as an institution? What are you doing as peers and mentors and so forth to increase and transform the lives? I don't want Commerce to be a place where you just show up as a faculty member or a staff member and go along with the crowd and live your life. I want you to challenge yourself and challenge each other for constant improvement. Okay? And I'm particularly excited about the group of deans and a group of senators from Faculty Senate are revising the promotion and tenure policy that's been in existence for a while. Okay? That's why it excites me is not so much that it'll provide clear guidelines to, what are the expectations for service, research, and teaching, but can it bump up the bar and create an environment where when we say national reputation, those aren't just lost words. We talk about statewide reputation going up for full professor, that it isn't just a box we check, but it's something that when the tenure track person comes in and progresses, there are people there ready to support them. How do I get you to statewide prominence? How do I get you to national prominence? Okay? Not just this plan is developed and sits on the shelf that we failed. We probably need an implementation plan for this policy as much as we do for our strategic plan. And then faculty externships. I brought this up before. And this is one of the initiatives I'm talking to Dr. Graham about, and maybe piloting it in College of Education. I haven't had a chance to talk to Scott Wheeler about this in business, but I'm very interested in making sure that our faculty are teaching state-of-the-art aspects and rigor and discipline-specific topics in the classroom. And if you're in a rapidly changing discipline like computer science, over a month, the field could change quite a bit. So let's figure out strategies where we say, you know what, Andrea, let's pick a faculty member or two, and I'm just making this up, in computer science, let's buy them out for the fall of 23. And let's send them over to industry and have them work as a computer scientist in industry. And then come back to campus in spring of 24 and say, you know what, I'm teaching this class, all the notes I had, those are trash. Let me tell you what's going on in the field right now. Okay? And create those opportunities to develop the skills in our faculty, the employment, the workable skills that our students need as part of the curriculum. And then finally, professional development opportunities for faculty and staff. And you have probably seen an email come out about this Investing in Us initiative, and I can't be more excited about this. Someone at this university has taken a lot of operational money from the individual departments and offices to cover shortfalls and so forth, and I understand that we have compromised the ability for people to go get professional development training in certain areas. But we have so much expertise at this university to provide that. So let's provide it. Let's provide it in such a way that we not only provide it, but we target areas that our faculty and staff want to be developed in. And one of those areas is leadership. Okay? And it is leadership. And gratefully, Dr. Villanueva Russell has agreed to teach a class that is a spinoff of her Designing You class, but deals with leadership development skills. And when I met with staff council, with the leadership of staff council, they were like, yeah, let's do that. That's what we need. We need people that aren't just, a lot of folks are concerned about, where do I go from here? What's my glass ceiling? How do I progress? You kind of need the skills to do that. So let's develop classes that help people develop not only knowing who you are and how you apply yourself in the workplace, but evaluation skills, time management skills, okay? And so we have this class. You saw that it came out in an email. We hope to get a lot of people signed up for this class, and this is not a one and done. These classes will be going on. The topic may change, the material covering that we cover may change, but this is the first one out of the block, is probably a 2 or 3 course sequence in leadership and developing leadership skills. And I put a little QR code out there in case you just want to take a picture. The application process is very easy. You click on that, fill it out, submit it, good. Okay? But the thing is that we are going to start this class January 17th. So we need to move quick on it. And just one item of note, a couple items of note, maybe the most important, is that we don't want this to be a punitive effort. You see the class times up there, but we're going to make sure that no one is required to use comp time, vacation time, or lunch time to take this course. This is a personal development opportunity. Absolutely, okay? We don't need applause. That's what we should be doing anyway, okay? So we are really excited about this. This is being run out of Dr. Vakahasi's office, and we are dead serious about this. We know that sometimes it may be hard to recruit people to commerce. Maybe there's opportunities to grow our own and advance people through the university. Okay, transforming academics. Transforming people, transforming academics. We are a national leader in competency-based education. I know sometimes universities are shameless about promoting themselves. We are a national leader in competency-based education. And I would say this, our provost went to new faculty orientation with a number of other provosts to the system office. And they were talking about, various things and so forth. And the topic of innovation, innovative programs came up. Without missing a beat, the system person, academic person said, oh, we know that Commerce is the most innovative campus in the system. Okay? And I do believe we are. Because what we're trying to do, why are we trying to transform academics? Because we have to make sure that we are meeting the needs of students whose requests and needs are ever-changing, changing on a head of a dime. Whether that's flexibility, whether that's affordability, whether that's access, whatever it may be, we better be ready to meet the student and not impose our traditional 16-week semester on those students, okay? And so we have utilized flex schedules here and in Dallas, 8-week classes, 5-week classes, 7-week classes. It's inherently built into CBE. We are going to ramp up our efforts in May in winter minis. And we feel like, in recent discussions, that there may be an opportunity to create something special to meet a need in our August mini that has kind of, at times, just been, it's August mini. But maybe there's an opportunity for students to do some remedial work during that August mini to prepare themselves, or new students to do some work, remedial work, to prepare themselves for the fall semester. So we're going to utilize every tool at our disposal. The urban education model in Dallas. Why are we in Dallas? Dang it, Mark, what the heck is going on? We tried Dallas a million different times, failed every time. Yeah, I agree with that, okay? But this is different. This is not us going into Dallas saying, let's offer 101, 104, and 106 and see who shows up, okay? This is a concerted effort by the university to acknowledge a need within Dallas. Oh, am I clicking ahead here? There's frantic people up front here. Forget the transforming places. There we go. Oops. Okay. Keep my hand off that buzzer. Okay. Dallas is different this time. Dallas is different because we're all in. We're not tiptoeing into Dallas. I had a discussion with someone at the system. Get this. I had a discussion with someone at the system. They want Dallas to be successful. And I said, yeah, and I'm sure that Dallas at Commerce is one of the top 5 initiatives within the system. They said, Mark, it's number 1 in the system. We own that. We're the flag bearer for that. So we need to figure Dallas out. We're off to a great start, but we need to figure Dallas out. And our premise has been, not every kid that lives in DFW can afford or have the schedule to go to school or come to Commerce and pay $10,000, whatever the price tag is on the residence hall. We have so many people that need to work, prospective students that need to work, that can pop over to Dallas and not drive up to Commerce. We're going to create a scenario where we have a different educational experience for students. You want the more traditional, with athletics and Greek life and events and so forth, or do you want an urban model, a new urban model, where you go there and take classes and be part of something that progresses you more rapidly through a degree? We're going to identify specific programs that are going to be our beachhead in Dallas, and we have the proper resources to make that happen. Okay? Don't worry about Dallas. Let us worry about Dallas. And then finally, RELIS. I've never really mentioned RELIS before. RELIS is a system initiative down with a partnership with Blinn College that is down by College Station. And Brent Donham has been leading that effort on the university because every school in the system was assigned, that's not quite right, but just let me have it for a second, assigned an area, engineering, so forth. Well, we were assigned computer science and CS. And Brent has, you go to Relish, they'll say, oh yeah, Brent's the best guy. Oh yeah, he knows what's going on. We can count on Brent. And so so much so, that even though Brent is moving over to the VPR position, as part of his economic development gig, he's going to also be, still continue to run Relish, in partnership with Dr. Graham, of course. Dr. Graham is right there at the table with him. So Relish has been successful so far. We haven't been in the game too long, a couple years. Brent just told me the other day that at the last graduation, we graduated 6 students, and those numbers continue to rise within Relish. So that's an important initiative. And why transform academics? Because again, we have to meet the students where they are. Okay? I'm not saying sell out the shop. We still have plenty of room under the tent for a 16-week traditional experience. But let's diversify our offerings. Let's diversify our flexibility. Because who else is going to do it? It ain't going to be other schools in the DFW area. No one will be able to meet not too many schools, maybe one, can meet our price point for a 4-year degree in the DFW area. We're uniquely situated in our niche to do that. Okay, you already seen this, but we'll go over it again. Transforming research. Let me just say this. I don't think I've ever said this to you before. And this is I'm putting on my old Vice President for Research hat for a second. Okay? So many times we say, this is teaching, and this is research. I tell you what, I don't look at it that way. I look at combining the two of the interacting. You can't tease teaching out from research. You can't tease those apart from one another because collectively, at the end of the day, they're not mutually exclusive events. At the end of the day, it's all about learning. I can make the argument that a student in a lab who's working on research is learning just as much as a student in the classroom in a lot of cases. Okay? So let's look at it that way. Let's not say, oh, I got a 4-4 load on time for research. Let's think out of the box. What could be possible? And again, this is another topic I'm having with Dr. Graham and hopefully to have with other deans across the and the provosts across the university. How do we do things? How do we transform learning? How about that? That should have been the top of my slide. How do we transform learning at our university? We have so many, we have so many good things going on. Increasing our numbers. Our numbers are looking good. Our research expenditure numbers are looking good. This may be the highest we've been at since I've been here, midway through the year. Game bird research. I'm challenging game bird research. There's Kelly. Good job, Kelly. Important initiative at the university. Undergraduate research. I'm challenging Dr. Donham to figure out, okay, how do we roll out a more concerted effort for undergraduate research opportunities for our students, and more on that later. Also, increase our federal presence. We have been kind of non-existent at the federal level since I've been here. How do we figure out strategies that now our faculty are serving on NSF review committees or doing an outplan assignment, an IPA, at one of these government agencies? I think these guys behind me are just playing games with me here. I did not touch that button. Okay. Okay, good. No. Okay. And then we've been successful. There's a new earmark process called Community Projects nationally that we have been it's been written to a bill that Commerce will receive about $500,000 for a Pride Pathway forwarded by Representative Allred. And we're stepping on the gas on that. We're going to be a constant provider of ideas for continuing earmarks in the future. But why? Why transform research? Why do that? Quit worrying about research. We're in education. We're a learning institution. Okay? I think for example, if we advance undergraduate research, that creates learning opportunities for our students. That produces a lot of valuable resources for our students. Grants, student scholarships can be written into grants. GAs can be written into grants, okay? And data will show you, and there's been a lot of studies on this, that students that are involved, hooked up with a professor, doing research at the undergraduate level, are better retained than those students that don't, okay? So that's also incredibly important. But I think it goes back to the prestige of the university, okay? Besides the valuable resources, besides how it benefits our students, different way to look at it, it benefits the faculty and the staff, okay? It benefits us serving on committees, the notoriety, the prestige. My daughter came home from her first semester at a Big Ten university. I said, hey, what was the most striking thing you saw? I think actually Libby asked her that. You know what she said? I thought the instructors would be better. So I can make the argument, I've always said this, kind of validated my point. Whether you're taking an English class here, English class there, electrical class here, electrical class there, the quality of education, it varies by instructor to instructor, it's kind of the same. What sets the institution apart, besides the $4 billion endowment, okay, is the research. And the fact that some of those folks are doing groundbreaking research, that they take that state-of-the-art knowledge and bring it into the classroom for the benefit of the students. They may not do it very well in some cases, but they do that. That's where the prestige comes. And we have to begin to make name for ourselves, because I know when I was going on for my master's, for my undergraduate, I had two choices. You know who I picked? The person that would advance me in terms of getting publications and doing research. Okay? It's important. It's important for the university. That's why we do it. Transforming places. That was the next one, right? Oh, sponsored project activities, we're doing really well. I don't want to minimize this, but this is great money, right? These awards get us towards that R2 designation as a university. But again, one thing I failed to mention in the past is that it also brings tremendous and valuable resources to the university. I loved getting a grant, because at the end of the day, I didn't have to answer to Mark Rudin, kind of had to answer to my dean, okay? Didn't necessarily have to answer to the budget office unless I messed up. I have to answer to the sponsoring agency that funded that money. It provides so much freedom to have those resources, to be able to go to conferences, hire students, and so forth. You're calling the shots. You're the principal investigator. Valuable resources. Transforming places. We have a lot of stuff going on campus. This is a map of our campus here. And all the little, you can't really tell because of the color coding, but all the little flags demonstrate something that has been completed, something that's being renovated, or something that is targeted for us to complete as part of our construction projects at the university. And let me just identify a couple of these things. First one is going to be our new Welcome Center right out here on 24. Right now we have a Welcome Center that if mom and dad are driving a kid up from Dallas, or a Welcome Center, or front porch to the university, take a right at Culver, go back, go north on Campbell, take a right at Campbell, and the Welcome Center is right over there. This is going to be our front porch to the university. Something impressive for students to see. And in terms of scope, we specifically said, let's make it high tech, but create a sense of belonging for our students. Okay? That's a side view looking for 24. This is a top view, so we have some separation between that and the music building with parking and so forth. Very excited about this project, and a lot of the Nichelle Bonds groups are going in this area. Again, we're hoping parents drive up and immediately someone's there to help them. We also received, as you remember, money from the legislature to create an ag education research complex. This is a very, very preliminary sketching of what that may look like south of the emergency room out in that area. Okay? Very excited about this too. And some people would say, and I'll cheat a little bit, why? Why are we worried about transforming places? One of these things is because this ag building. A lot of people say, hey, this is an ag building. It's going to be a great facility. It's going to attract students. It's going to help enrollment in ag. I agree with that. But I also like the idea of as an economic development initiative where you know that when companies are struggling to try to find employees, they go where the talent is. My hope is that this is so successful, and we are producing the talent. Talent is king. We produce the talent, and there's some ag companies that start to set up outposts out in commerce and develop the economy that way. So I'm equally interested in that. University district, okay? You've probably heard through the grapevine about an event center, okay? If we have it our way and we're working towards this, it's going to be much more than that. And you can see that this is the square here from Culver, the 24, down to Charity, I think is the road, I think. And you can see we have the event center here and the ag center is south of it. It's off of here. But we want to create this place where we have an event center that can house our men and women's court sports, but also graduations, events, concerts, whatever that may be. Hopefully rodeos. I'm not supposed to say that, but I keep my fingers crossed, Randy, that we can get there. Okay? But let's just not make it a standalone thing. Let's make it where it's part of an area to hang out. Okay? We have restaurants and hotels and other retail that's in that area. And you perhaps create walking paths from this area. And Whitley may become the cool place to stay now. From Whitley, walking paths down to the Ag Center, around here and so forth. Maybe that's walking paths, maybe that's biking paths, okay? Lined biking paths, walking paths. And just create a nice ambiance in that area. And so we're excited about this. We think it's on to good things. This is also an economic development driver here, okay? When you talk to our kids, when I sit down with our kids, what do you want? I want things to do. I want concerts, I want comedians, I want entertainment. If you want me to go home to Dallas for the weekend, give me something to do here. Okay? Can I say what the restaurant maybe can be? Okay, so this is my baby. We'll gauge the response here from the crowd. One of the first restaurants that's going to go in, and I think it's probably going to be located right there south of CVS, south of here, is going to be a Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah. Okay, a little. Wanted a little bit more there. Coach Rose, Buffalo Wild Wings. So we can watch line athletics while enjoying wings and so forth. But that's an example of the type that we can have dinner there and dinner across commerce, and then before an event, a basketball game or whatever the game may be, at the event center. Dallas, I don't have to say much about Dallas. Dallas is a prominent fixture in the landscape of DFW. We expect to continue to grow this. Now, at the groundbreaking of this, the grand opening of Dallas, the chancellor stood up and said something to the effect of, this is a great start, we want Commerce to take over the entire building. It's like, yikes. Okay, so they're dead serious. We got to figure out how we're going to grow Dallas, and we have a great plan in place right now to do just that. And then we also have beautification going on at campus, around campus. Ferguson, the pavilion, which is wildly successful. I think any given moment in time during the day, you see students out there hanging out. Latte Gardens. And Latte Gardens, I got to give a shout out to Devin and Philanthropy and Engagement and Gary and Sandra Fernandez to give us the appropriate money, the amount of money to help us beautify this particular area of the campus. Again, our requests and our needs are not that complicated. We need cool spaces for kids to hang out, okay? And this is becoming rapidly one of those spaces, along with the pavilion, okay? So why? Why are we going to transform places? Again, there's also studies that show within the first 15 minutes of a student arriving on campus, they make a mental decision, I can see myself here. And they also make the decision, and we had experienced this with our son, I don't see myself here. Okay? I want to go home right now. So why? Why a welcome center? Because that's the first stop. Why cool places? Because that's where students want to go. That's where they want to hang out. That's what they want to do when they're on campus. Okay? Maybe we need more eating establishments and so forth. And we're making and when a student walks through Ferguson, not only are our faculty and staff, when it's completed, proud, our students are proud and understand who we are. Okay? Again, a sense of belonging, and maybe even a little bit a sense of belonging for our faculty and staff that occupy these spaces as part of the university. But again, it comes back to the student. Transforming DEIA, we continue to be a leader in this area. Way back when we created the DEIA committee, Joyce Miller's doing an outstanding job on that. The system said, "Yeah, you guys are doing this right. How do we replicate that throughout the system?" And in the advent of our DEIA committee advancing in a new DEIA strategic plan, we're poised to continue to do good work in this area. But why? Why wouldn't we want to do this? And I'll put it in simple Mark Rudin terms. Okay? I have always felt that the demographics of our faculty and staff should be the same demographics as our student body. Okay? And I don't see that as a goal. There's going to be a little odd twist. I don't see that as a goal. I think we need to get to that point as our starting point. Okay? And we're not there. Not even close enough for my liking. Okay? We have a lot of work to do in terms of hiring different ethnicities and so forth at this university that can bump those numbers up, not only in the African American community, but especially the Hispanic Latino community. We got work to do. Okay? And you all have work to do. I have some say-so in hiring senior administration. I got to be honest with you, I have little say-so at hiring faculty and staff across the university. We put out the mantra of inclusivity, diversity, and so forth. So when your department or your area is doing a search, you need to own that. Okay? I'm going to have people that are constantly barking at me saying, "Hey, what about diversity in faculty ranks? I don't make those hires. You do. What about diversity in faculty ranks? I don't make those hires." Now, if you have ideas to bring to me and say, "Hey, you need to do this, Mark," or "HR needs to do that," I'm all ears. Because it's not for lack of trying. It's not for lack of trying to diversify the ranks of our university community. So we're committed to that. Okay? And then transforming and alignment with the community. When I first got here, I got to be honest with you, I felt it was a little bit of the University of Commerce. Okay? We had a lot of individual, no really coordinated effort to reach out and become the University of Northeast Texas. And now we've established partnerships, relationships with a lot of school districts, community colleges, agencies, and so forth. And this, as I mentioned before, is our campus. Right? We are becoming the University of Northeast Texas and celebrating our dual rural and urban identity here. We have various initiatives going on. Something that's in the works right now is we have university centers like at the Czech Center and Mesquite and Navarro. We're cozying up pretty close with Grand Prairie ISD. They want a four-year institution to be part of their community and part of their fabric. So we're having discussions with them. And of course, Dallas. We're having discussions with the Dallas ISD to create early college, high schools, and schools surrounding 8750, the Dallas site. And you've heard me say a couple times mention the Midtown Project with Dallas ISD, building a international school in partnership with the North Dallas Chamber of Commerce and Dallas ISD to advance international education and K through 12 opportunities for students. Okay? So transforming our community. Why? Why do we do that? Why are we doing that? Okay? And I'll tell you why. Because you don't understand how talented you all are, how much history we have to stand back and let other people do these things. I say this so many times that, especially, in things like education in some areas, no one does it better than us. So why are we not doing it? We're too talented not to do it. We're too talented to be sitting up here. We're too talented to be irrelevant in parts of DFW. Our footprint is going to be in DFW, and it's going to be in rural Northeast Texas. So let's act like it. Okay? Let's be a part of that fabric. And I'm okay with a little bit of swagger. I'm okay with we're bad. Okay? I'm okay with that, because we are. bad in a good way, right? We are good, okay? So let's not sit up here in commerce. Commerce is important, but let's not sit up in here in commerce and let the world come to us. Let's take our talents to the world. Transforming athletics. Athletics, front door to the university. We have joined the Southland Conference, okay? Great move, okay? There are people out there, and I'm catching wind of people that say, the university made a big mistake. You went through D1 too early. You don't have the resources. You don't have the facilities. Rudin's an idiot. Was an idiot, but it was something worse than idiot when they said that, okay? Rudin's an idiot. I tell you what, we're good. We now have our financial house in order in athletics. We have never suffered from not having enough scholarships. I don't know where that came from. We have to bump our scholarships up to 63 and maybe eventually, potentially up to 85. Tina, have we ever turned someone down, student athlete down for a scholarship? I need to hear it. No, and we never will. I don't know where that comes from. I don't fault that person. I fault the people that listen to that. Because rarely do I get questioned. I never got questioned. Tell us why you went to D1. Okay? There was not a better time for us to go to D1 than when we did. Okay? We have the resources in place. We almost have the people in place. We have a little bit of work to do in our facilities, particularly the weight room, and maybe creating more of a fan experience in the stadium. But, they say, well, you didn't even look at all the other schools within the Southland and figure out how your facilities stack up. We did in some cases, but in order to get into the Southland, there was a team of presidents and ADs that were sent to Commerce saying, we're going to check out and see if you guys have the facilities that are up to snuff to be successful in D1, and we passed that. So I can't tell you how bullish I am on us going to D1. It's a great move. We're 6 months into a 4-year plan, and I couldn't be happier. And I couldn't be happier with a group of coaches that we have across the board for our various athletics that play such a critical role in moving that forward. People were worried about how are we going to be able to compete? Are we going to be any good? Okay. Our women's soccer team they were picked 8th in the conference. They finished 2nd in the conference and lost the championship game. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love Ashley Gordon, coach of women's soccer. And I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but this is what Ashley said after that loss in the championship game in the conference tourney to Lamar. She goes, we knew that we would certainly show well for our university. None of this, we're going to kick butt, we're going to, it's about us, it's about the team, and so forth. They knew that when we ramped up to D1, they had to show as not only athletes, but they had to show as students, too, to the outside community. Okay? She gets it. All our coaches get it. Okay? We are ready to go. And another thing that gives me great pride is this, that our overall GPA for our student athletes is 3.25. That is a great accomplishment. Congratulations to everyone. Yep. And then finally, transforming our operations. That's part of our strategic plan. Transform our operations. Processes, procedures, budget transparency, all these kind of things. Why? Why would we want to do that? Because we can't go out and aggressively recruit initiatives, recruit students, recruit places, and so forth. And then when someone says, that was great, Mark, I'm going to give you a call back. Mark, no one answered the phone. I don't know what the process is. No one will give me the process to get done what you wanted me to get done. So we're leading and going out with all these cool, jazzy initiatives. We got to make sure we have the office and the back end support, including me, to support whatever we are pushing out there. Okay? Incredibly important. Okay? Budget transparency, I put that on there because I've asked Tina and Tammy, our provost, to go around and start having a budget discussion. And it's a perfect timing because of the legislative session to say there's been some questions. Okay, how can you afford a welcome center when you can't afford this and payment that and so forth? I want them to line out exactly where our budget is what we can spend money on, certain money on certain things, and what we cannot, and lay that all out for you, and have that not only presented to you, but have a discussion with you. It'll certainly be at the college level. I'm hoping this drills down a little bit more than that. And then the evaluation of administrators. This is the last second thing I put on there. I was like, what did we agree to? I know we did one evaluation of deans and other administrators since I've been here. I don't think we've done another one. Is it time? If it is time, let's go. This is just kind of, I gotta be honest with you, this is a reminder for me to say, let me get with Linda and other people and say, where are we in this process? Because it's an incredibly valuable tool for us. And so we transform these operations, again, so we have these initiatives and we're trying to get students at our school, and there is someone to answer the phone. There is someone to walk them through the process and so forth. Going back, all these things we're talking about transforming, bubble back the people. Okay? It's incredibly important that we understand that. That's where the university's going. We're not sitting idly by. We're trying to create opportunities for our students, not only directly, but indirectly. Okay? I will say this, we did a cultural climate survey, and the results came back, and this is the approach I'd like to take. You tell me whether you agree with this or not, and we can have dialogue. There were two things that bubbled up from that survey. Okay? The first thing was we seem to have a breakdown in communication at our university. And we have senior administration and administrators over here with all these initiatives. And how do we communicate that down? And then we have, and then we have faculty, staff, and maybe some student organizations also have initiatives and things they're doing. But sometimes we do this. Once in a while we do this. But there's this breakdown. There's breakdowns. There's clay layers or barriers between those two entities. And what that creates is, up here, what are those guys doing over there? Okay? I don't know where I fit in. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing the best I can, but with no direction. What do you expect of me? And then the senior administration, so why are people responding like that? Why are they saying things like that? Okay? We got to figure out to stop all these short circuits and bring it together. That's issue number one. That's what we saw based upon the data and the anecdotal stuff coming out of the survey. The second one was everyone thinks they had the best division. Everyone else, every other division are idiots across campus. Okay? We do it the best. We know what we're doing. But oh boy, if you reach across to the president's office, whoo, they don't know what's going on. They can't work with those people. Okay? We have to break down those silos. We have to figure out, how do I acknowledge the fact that there's other people that provide valuable help and support to what we need, and how do we start that dialogue? So what I've asked each of the VPs and people on the executive team is that we're going to take these two issues and they're going to start a dialogue within the individual organizations. Okay? Let's have a retreat. Let's have something where we talk about this. Do we have these problems in our division? We have some divisions that may be 3 or 4 people. Maybe there's not a problem. We have some big divisions. Okay? And maybe this happens also, Tammy, at the dean level that we do this, right? And have that dialogue. I told the VPs already, I'm not going to hold you responsible necessarily in your evaluation of what I saw in the climate survey, but I'm going to hold you responsible and accountable for how you treat this information now moving forward. If you don't pull this off and we don't have those dialogue, you're going to hear from me, okay? So we need to have this discussion on our campus and continue to move it forward. Okay? No town halls, no campus-wide discussion. We're going to bring it down to the grassroots effort, everyone being grassroots effort, and have this discussion. So, it gives me great pleasure if you were very observant. Our strategic plan that we currently have in place takes us from 2019 to 2024. Well, I think it's time to reboot this, reevaluate it, reassess it, and kick off sometime this spring a new strategic plan for 24-29, effective January 1st of 24. Okay? The Provost's office will be heading this effort up, and it'll be set up the same kind of way we've had it in the past. I guess, honestly, I don't see an overhaul of our plan. Kind of like the vision, kind of like the mission, like the goals. The things under the goals, I don't know if that helps us out all that much. But I think we have the opportunity to tweak it move it forward, and make sure it truly reflects who we are as an institution and how we're moving forward. So Tammy Vakahasi will be leading that effort and have a team leading that effort. Many of you in this room will be a part of that effort, including our students, and just incredibly excited about how do we continue to chart the course for the next 5 years for our institution. What is your job at A&M Commerce? I decided I'm going to ask this question every time. Your job may be to build new buildings. Your job may be to administer financial aid to our students and enhance operations. Your job may be doing research and figuring out ways students fit into that research opportunity. Okay? But everything you do relates back into transforming the lives of our students. We transform lives. And we do that not only by saying we do it, but we do it in so many now understanding tangible ways. That's where we're going as a university. That's where we've been as a university. That's where we're going as a university. Leverage every last asset initiative we have to benefit and create transformative change for the people, the students, the faculty, and staff that work at our university. So that work for the spring semester starts Tuesday, a week from today. I hope you're ready. I'm ready. You guys ready to do this? Let's do it. Go Lions. Good luck, everyone. Take care.